Welcome to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by thesoberclub.com. I'm Janey Grace. This is for you if you've quit the booze or you'd like to, or maybe you're just sober curious. I'll bring you tips and motivation without any judgment, and there'll be inspiration from experts, quit-lit authors, and sober heroes. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. How you doing? Just a mention for anyone doing, ditching the booze during January, then, you're doing well. So well done if you're on that path, and if you're off and on, then, don't beat yourself up. Just keep on keeping on. It's so unbelievably worth it. Really is. I'm so glad lots of you enjoyed last week's podcast. I had quite a few messages about that, people going off to clear their clutter, and just fascinating, isn't it, how there are so many similarities. And I've actually, you'll be pleased to know, if you were listening carefully, been able to make a start on some of my blocks. So if you haven't heard it yet, last week's podcast was fun, around decluttering and just how many similarities there are with making that decision to ditch the booze, because we procrastinate, don't we? And our clutter holds us back. It really does. Just before I get into this week's chat, just a mention of a few things coming up. As you know, I've got sober coach training this weekend. I'm so looking forward to that. It's just amazing to be in a room with people who are sober, obviously, and just so excited about a new path, about their journey, about helping other people. It's really powerful. I'm really looking forward to it. And if that's something that interests you, then get in touch, because we're filling up our next training now, which starts with a couple of days in person in April, the end of April. So in Hertfordshire. So get in touch if that's for you. And then next Wednesday, I'm going to be in Edinburgh. Really looking forward to it. I was on BBC Scotland the other day, talking about the memoir From Wham to Woo, and they gave a little mention for Blackwells in Edinburgh on Wednesday. So it'd be great to see you. If you are coming to that, if you're a podcast listener and you're coming to that event, drop me a message, and I don't know, maybe we can meet beforehand. It'd be great to meet some podcast listeners. But obviously it's a very small event, so we'll get to chat anyway. So that's Wednesday at Blackwells in Edinburgh. And then the next thing to tell you about is Tony's event, Tony Wardstall's event. He's one of my sober coaches. He's got an event near Reading at the 31st of Jan, which is a dry comedy event, which is doing really well. I don't know if it's sold out yet, but that sounds like fantastic fun. The event in York was great, by the way. Really great to meet some people up there. Again, an event organized by one of my coaches. There's so much more going on. It's brilliant, isn't it? And then Tuesday, the 18th of Feb, we've got a webinar. What does it mean to be a sober coach? So again, that will obviously not be for everyone, but if you have ditched the booze, or you're sort of early days, but you're already thinking you want to kind of lay the foundations for your own sobriety, you want to look at the whole holistic picture and really deep dive into all the different elements of mindset and good nutrition, and looking back at the role that trauma plays in it all. We cover all of that in depth. So if you are interested, join us for a free webinar, exploring your purpose. That's on Tuesday, 18th of Feb. If you go to thesoberclub.com, click on events, you'll find the info for that there. You can register for that webinar. And then Sunday, 23rd of Feb, it's Family Constellations. That's in Hertfordshire. And again, there's a blog post explaining a bit more about what Constellations is. Never the easiest to describe, but I just say, just come along, just come and experience it. Be curious. It's so powerful. It really is amazing. It's just wonderful for helping you shift your perspective and just feel more empathy, more openness, more awareness about yourself and your relationships. And it really is amazing. I wish the name were different, because people tend to think, oh, it means I have to come with my family, or I don't even like my family. Well, none of that matters. You just come on your own if you want to. So it's powerful stuff. So again, have a look at thesoberclub.com/events. And then into March, if you can treat yourself, I'm so glad to finally be hosting a proper retreat in a really wonderful luxury luxury yet rustic, if you like, lovely farmhouse in Essex, co-facilitating a retreat there, which is everything I've always wanted to do, with all of the kind of the workshops and the empowerment and the good nutrition and the spiritual side of it, if you want it. Of course, nothing's compulsory, but yes, we will be doing a cacao ceremony and sound healing and yoga nidra and on and on. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Go for a walk if you like. But I really hope some of you can join us. It's going to be really special. It's the 7th to the 9th of March in Essex. And again, you'll need to go to thesoberclub.com and click on events, and you'll see the info there. Just drop me a message if you're interested in any of these. You've got any questions. I'm very easy to find. Just at Janey Lee Grace across all social media. Follow me if you don't already. There'll be other stuff coming up, but it's kind of enough to start with, isn't it? If you haven't joined us in the Sober Club yet, by the way, then of course I would say please do. We are going to have to put the price up soon, but if you wanted to join us now, it's still the same price. It's incredibly good value. It really is. Of course, I would say that, but there's so much there, and an amazingly non-judgmental, really, just incredibly supportive and really lovely non-judgmental community, and masses of amazing inspirational content. So join us if you can, thesoberclub.com. And that leads me beautifully to my guest this week, who is a Sober Club member. And I love hearing people's stories. And sometimes, one of my Sober Club members will post a message on the group, and I just think, oh, wow, that's so inspirational. All of us can make a difference for those of us behind us, as it were, can't we? We can kind of just share insights that make other people think, oh, wow, I want some of that. So, whatever stage you're at, realize that you're probably shining your little light somewhere, whether that's on your friends and family, or whether it's on people that at work, or whoever it might be. You're also kind of shining a light out. So good for you if you're doing that. So yeah, enjoy the interview. Well, as most of you know, one of the things that I absolutely love most in the whole world is running the Sober Club and getting to see amazing transformations. And it's just so lovely when we get to hear of members who are rocking it sober. So I thought we'd invite one along. So Lou Maris, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's a real pleasure to chat to you.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here, Janey. Thank you.
We met, didn't we, at one of the was it one of the live podcast events that you came to?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I came to the one at Christmas.
Yeah, Club
And
Soda.
also the one before that with
Claire Pooley.
Yes, Claire Pooley.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? Yeah,
that was
fantastic.
Brilliant,
yeah. Good. It really makes a difference, doesn't it? The connection piece, for sure. It really does. So tell me a little bit about you then. Take me back first and tell me a bit about what life was like in the old days.
Yeah. So I guess you could describe me as just like a regular drinker, the kind of where you think, your life's okay and everything's normal and you're having, you're living your best life kind of thing.
What kind of work did you do, or do you do, just to put it in some kind of context?
So I'm 54. I'm an assistant head teacher.
Education, yes. One of the boozy industries. There are many.
Absolutely. So, clearly that's the kind of trap that you can fall into, in that you kind of spend quite a lot of time getting home, you're knackered, what do you reach for? You open the fridge or you open the cupboard and there's the wine. So that was kind of my cycle that I was in. And
was it work because of work? Was it worse because of work? On a serious note, I mean, I'm sure you've heard me say that I co-wrote the book Stress to Calm in 7 Minutes for Teachers, and you may have heard me say before that we did research for that book, and we got people who worked in education to write into us anonymously. And oh my goodness, I was not expecting what I read from teachers. I was expecting it from the book we did from nurses, but I wasn't expecting the level of, I mean, the word stress does not cover it really. It's more like trauma. it was quite shocking. And pretty much everyone that responded to our survey said that they got the Sunday scaries. Did not want to go back to work, and they were drinking to cope with the workload. And I don't think most regular people would think that of teachers. So was that a thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is, I mean, it is an incredibly rewarding job, but at the same time, you kind of put your heart and soul into it,
Mm,
really.
mm,
And, I guess a lot of us abuse the booze to kind of as a kind of coping mechanism.
yeah,
And it's so easily done. It's so, so easily done. And I found myself definitely being one of those kind of Friday night drinkers, the minute you walk out of school, that's it, right? Let's get down the pub kind of thing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how um, we just think of alcohol as being the answer to our stress, whereas actually it just exacerbates it. It just makes it so much worse. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, how bad did it get? What was going on towards the end, as it were?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 11-year-old son, and one of my sort of low points was I remember taking him to see Santa at the local sort of house, like local community house, and just not remembering how I got home really, and then sort of waking up with mud on my legs, and then my son telling me I'd kind of fallen in the bushes on the way home, and
Yeah,
we'd got a taxi back, but thank goodness, the taxi driver would actually kind of take me. So that kind of started ringing alarm bells because I just thought, what on earth are you doing, Lou? This is your son, this is your child. What kind of role model are you? A, you're kind of putting yourself and him in danger. B, it's not a good role model. So that was a few years ago, and then I just sort of, how you just kind of think, well, it was Christmas, or, you sort of brush it aside and,
yeah,
carry on. But then, just the usual kind of regular drinking. I mean, I've been drinking since I was probably about 12, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
The kind of cans, the kind of stealing your friend's dad's booze from the cupboard and, kind of, you know, going to the park and sneakily, having your kind of ready-made, cheap ciders and what have you. So anyway, carried on, and I just, to be honest with you, it just started getting me down. It was just every time I held a drink of wine in a social situation. I mean, I was drinking in the evenings as well. Obviously, after school, I was drinking regularly every single evening, and I just felt like it was draining me. And
Did you
then
did you ever reach out for any help during that period, out of interest?
no,
No.
no. I mean, I to be honest, it didn't even occur to me. It
Mm.
really didn't occur to me because I just thought, well, haven't got a drinking
No,
problem.
exactly.
So then it was last New Year's Eve, and I live quite in London, in quite a high up part of London, so you get wonderful views. And it was midnight, and I remember looking across and watching the fireworks and thinking, "Wow, this is beautiful." Obviously, having had a load of drinks, and then I don't know, there was just something in my head that sparked at me and said, sparked in my head, and I kind of thought, well, yes, this is beautiful, but I'm going to have a raging hangover in the morning. And it's almost like all of the goodness, all of this amazing kind of night and the fun that I've had with my friends is going to end up with me feeling terrible about myself,
Mm.
having a raging headache and not really being able to do anything so every year for I don't know how many years, I've woken up with this terrible, terrible hangover on the 1st
Yeah,
of January. I mean, who wants to start the new year like
yeah,
that? So a friend of mine, I didn't realise she'd given up booze. Not given up, I shouldn't say given
yeah,
up, but
yeah,
stopped the booze,
yeah.
ditched
Well
the
done, well
booze.
done.
Yeah, yeah.
I pick on
And
everyone, don't I?
yeah, yeah. And I just happened to text her and I said, I don't think I'm going to have a drink for a while. And then it transpired that she had ditched the booze, but not told anyone.
Yeah.
So then she started texting me every single morning, well done, day 10, well done, you
Great.
warrior, day 25. And then she told me about the Sober Club.
Great.
And that's how I kind of got involved with that community. And it's just been
Brilliant.
amazing.
So just for people who are, early days, I mean, it was brilliant that you had that connection right from the start, with somebody who had been there, done it, got the t-shirt, But what were the hard bits? Because we have to be quite realistic, don't we? And for someone who's been drinking all those years, that's a lot of years. So pretty much everything in your life would have been through a haze of booze, wouldn't it? All the big stuff.
Absolutely.
So emotionally, you must have felt like, if you're anything like me, I felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster for the first period. I didn't know how to handle anything because I'd handled everything with booze before. So what was it like for you in those early weeks? What were the hard bits?
I think initially, mostly it was socializing. So I just became a hermit, really. I felt I couldn't go out at all because I was just too afraid of kind of, giving in, if you
Yeah.
like, or
Yeah.
looking boring or, so that was really difficult. And then my dad passed away this year, very sadly. And to be honest, I really didn't think that I was going to be able to get through that.
Mm,
All I thought about the minute that it happened was reach for the
yeah.
booze, reach for the
Yeah. It's
booze,
so
reach for the
ingrained
booze.
on us, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was one sort of big life event for me that was really difficult.
Yeah.
But when it had all, we'd had the funeral and everything, I can only say that I just felt empowered. I felt really kind of, it sounds maybe a bit naff, but I felt proud of myself.
Yeah. No,
And
absolutely.
actually,
You should be.
yeah, and you know what? I'd say I'm someone who's, even though I'm a teacher, and obviously I have to kind of, put on a brave face and be confident in the classroom, etc. I don't have very high self-esteem, and one
No.
of one of the things that I found, I guess, in the beginning, in the early days, is that I couldn't quite believe that I could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It just wasn't me. It was like, no way, life, how can I have a life without
Yeah.
alcohol? It just
Yeah.
didn't compute at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because you're
and
often we don't think we're worth it, do we? Who are we
no,
to think that we can, live our best lives and be healthy and successful and, brave and have good relationships? There's a sense of, oh, I'm not worth it.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. And
Wow.
and now, kind of a year on, um, it's the opposite,
Yeah.
actually. It's like, it's just my eyes have been opened,
Yeah.
I just feel so connected with the world and with the people around me. It is unreal.
Yeah.
It's like, it, you know, it's quite unbelievable, actually. And I've chosen my word for this year because I did
Oh,
your
good. Good.
workshop.
Did I workshop? Yeah. Yeah. What's the word?
So my word is connected
Lovely.
and
Yeah. I love
connection,
lovely.
connection,
Mm.
because I've now I feel like I'm ready to kind of be me and kind of really connect with lots of friends that who in that first year, but definitely in the first kind of 6 months, I just didn't see, I didn't contact, I didn't, I just became very withdrawn.
Yeah. And
Um,
did you find that when you started to become more social or when you started to engage, did you find that there were some friendships that sort of naturally fell away and that's just the way it is, because people often do find that things do, we have different priorities, we want to go different places, we want to do different things. And I've mostly found with my clients that they'll tell me that certain friends, actually they look back and they realize they really were actually only drinking buddies and they've kind of just drifted apart. don't need to have any big argument or scene. They just kind of don't show up anymore. Was it like that for you, or did you stay connected with everyone?
I think there are still some people that I need to reconnect with or try to reconnect with.
Mm,
I do agree that, there were a couple of comments, oh, that's boring.
mm.
Oh, how can you not
Whereas
drink?
actually, it's drunk people that are incredibly boring. We
Exactly.
know that now. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Um, so let's wait and see, really, I
Mm,
think,
mm. How did it
um,
impact on your life at home then, on you as a mum?
oh, it's just been incredible, to be honest with you. Um, you know, I know, anyone who is a parent will agree. Anyone that's ditched the booze, I'm
Yeah,
sure, who's a
yeah.
parent will agree
It's the best
that
parenting hack ever,
it's,
isn't it?
yeah,
You can
it's
read
just
every parenting book under the sun. You can learn everything you want about discipline, about, every single aspect of parenting. But actually, when you become authentic, that's it. That's it.
that
You might
absolutely
get some things wrong, you might not, but at least you're authentic.
exactly.
Changes
And
everything.
yeah, and that was one of the things that was quite difficult to deal with in the early days as well. It was the
The
guilt.
guilt, yeah. I
It
had
was the
that too.
guilt. It was the kind of, the regret as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have done that from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yeah. And what about work-wise? How has it affected you? Are you better able to deal with the stress that comes along at work now?
definitely, I mean, I'm sure I did used to have imposter syndrome. As a woman I'm on a senior leadership team as well at school, and sometimes as a woman, I think, well, often as a woman, I would question whether my opinion was valid or you know as valid as those of those people around me. So
Mm,
now I don't know if it's just because I don't really care so much.
mm.
I don't have those feelings of anxiety that I used to. I definitely don't have those feelings of anxiety that I used to feel.
Yeah, that's great.
That's gone.
Yeah,
So I
amazing.
just don't need alcohol to help me deal with that anymore.
Yeah, amazing. So what else would you like to share with us? Because I know on the Sober Club you wrote a few lovely insights into some of the blessings and the benefits. Is there anything you want to share with us?
Definitely. I mean, I would say it's never too late, first of
Yeah,
all.
yeah, very true.
Um, I mean, as a kind of, 50 odd year old woman, I feel much more energetic. It's the skin, the hair, everything, you just feel like you can do more. I just feel more authentic.
Yeah,
It's like I've kind of been reborn.
yeah, it really is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love that.
Um, yeah, so it's that. It's having more time as well,
Yeah.
like much more time.
How did you use your time? Did you kind of rediscover things that you used to enjoy, or did it just free you up for more relaxation? What changed for you?
So I love spending time walking and kind of going out to the woods and just spending time in nature. So that's one thing that I now do on a Saturday morning. So
Yeah.
instead of lying in bed recovering, I'm, up and out, which is lovely. And I also just things like gardening,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
kind of really love pottering around, and photography as well.
Oh, great.
So I had, yeah, I mean, it's things like I bought a camera and I'd never even taken it out of the box,
Yeah.
you know. So now I've got just a much more of a kind of love of life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So what was the most surprising thing for you from from this year?
Um, I think it's the authenticity and kind of I thought that I wouldn't be able to cope.
Yeah.
I actually thought I wouldn't be able to cope, but actually it's the way that it's empowered me.
Yeah.
That's been the most surprising part. because there was a voice in my head telling me you will be boring, you won't be able to socialize,
Yeah.
you're going to be shy to say what, to be kind of outspoken ever, or kind of say what you want to say, but it's actually the opposite.
Yeah. So it
um
was like, I suppose it was a case of all of those beliefs that are ingrained in us that, it's alcohol that gives us confidence and makes us, able to stand up for ourselves and gives us energy and gives us second wind and all that nonsense that we tell ourselves. Literally, the opposite is true, isn't it? Literally the opposite.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
become brave when you quit
Yeah.
alcohol.
I mean,
Yeah.
I found myself actually being quite happy in January this year for the
Yeah.
first time, because
Yeah.
I usually, suffer from the kind of January, and we all to a degree
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
suffer
The
from the
blues.
January blues,
Mm.
because we've been with our families and had a bit of time off work. But actually, it wasn't half as bad this year, because I was being me. I'm now
Yeah.
me.
Fantastic. Really, really does make such a massive difference, doesn't it, to your life? And what was there anything else that you noticed that you hadn't expected? Like, you mentioned your skin looks better and stuff like that. Was there anything else sort of health wise or energy wise that changed for you?
I think just mentally, there's been a huge shift. I feel like I'm more kind of in control of my life. I feel
Mm,
like I know what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. I feel more organized. Um, and just like things like my home feels more organized. Like
yeah.
I'm not just chucking things on the floor and then thinking, oh, I'll deal with that later, you
Yeah.
know?
I suppose it
Um,
comes down to sort of self-care, doesn't it, really? It's
yeah,
actually, in the true sense of the word, actually properly taking care of
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah.
Whereas when we're drinking, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't take care of our home or anything around us, really, because we're
No,
intoxicated. That's the reality, isn't it? That's why we fall into
absolutely.
bed without bothering to take our makeup off, and we don't
Yeah.
book the dental appointments we need, and we don't, and on and on.
Mm.
And when that toxic liquid's taken away, we've got the space and the time to actually take a bit, take care of ourselves once we realize we're worth it, of course,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
which takes a bit of learning, takes a little bit of
yeah.
focusing. So what about the connection piece then, your word for the year, which is lovely. You know, obviously I think the Sober Club's great. I would because I run it, but tell me what it's meant for you, if you don't mind giving us a little bit of a plug.
No, not at all. I think it's been key really to where me getting where I am now, and helping me to sort of change my life around. Um, when I went to the first live event with
Mm,
Claire Pooley there, I was just absolutely taken aback by the kind of positive vibe,
mm,
and the fact that nobody had had a drop to drink, and
yeah,
yet it was much more kind of uplifting and kind of welcoming than any or many events I've ever been to before, which was fantastic. And then in terms of the actual the Sober Club, there's so much information on there that's really helped me. I watched your TED talk,
hmm
which was just fantastic and so inspiring, and also just connecting on a daily basis with people that I see as kind of almost like my family now.
yeah. Well, it does
Um,
feel as though they've got your back, doesn't it? And I'm
yes,
guessing now as well. I'm guessing that now you're a year on, there are people ahead of you, of course, but there are also lots of people behind you. So now you're able to give back, as it were, and
yes,
share some of your tips when people kind of pop up and go, "Oh, I'm worried about this event," or whatever. You're able to kind of go, "Well, actually, this is what happened to me."
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And that
So
feels good, doesn't it? It feels really good to be able to give back.
it feels
Yeah.
brilliant. It feels fantastic giving back. And I can see myself being a lifelong member for sure.
Mm, great. Well, it's
Um,
fabulous to have you part of our gang, really is. And thank you so much for sharing this with us, Lou. It's really just really great just to hear from someone who's a year in. And I wonder if, like me, did you have any of those concerns that when you got to a year, it might feel a bit flat, but actually it gets better every year,
exactly. Yeah, I'm just so
every year.
excited. I'm so
Yeah,
excited for the future.
yeah, it really is
I really
amazing.
am.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I bet, in your own way, you're probably shining a bit of a light in the workplace. Even though, the idea, of course, is not to walk in starting to evangelize everywhere. The fact of the matter
Yeah,
is, people will notice a difference in you. I'm sure they have
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you get those conversations by the water cooler.
yeah, yeah. And it's like,
Oh, right.
oh,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
you don't
How did you
drink.
do it then? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I really need to do it. Oh, I so do.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah,
interesting how we just quietly go along, our own way,
yeah,
but some of the light spreads, it does. So, yeah,
absolutely.
well done
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Fantastic. And
Thank
as you say,
you.
amazing role model, fantastic role model for your son. You can't wish for better, really. And we
Yeah,
have to just not beat ourselves up about the fact that we didn't do it sooner. We're where we are now, and actually there is a wonderful lesson there for our kids when they can see that we have made a conscious choice and made a change, and that we are sorry for what went before. That's part of human life as well. That's an amazing lesson for kids to be able to see. Okay, so she regrets that, but now she's made a conscious choice and she doesn't actually need toxic liquid to live her life. How fantastic is
yeah,
that? What an
yeah.
amazing lesson. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Lou. I look forward to seeing you at our next event. We're gonna try and
Absolutely.
do something in March, hopefully. So we'll see you then.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for
Thanks,
sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
thanks, Janey, and good
Cheers.
luck to everyone on this journey. It's the
Oh,
best thing
thank
you'll
you.
ever do.
There you go. You see, you heard it from Lou. Thank you. Thank you, Lou. So once again, then join us in the Sober Club, thesoberclub.com. Click on events there for everything that's going on, the webinar, what does it mean to be a sober coach, and the family constellations on the 23rd of Feb, and the retreat, 7th to 9th of March, and whatever else we're cooking up. And as I say, so often, don't forget that if you are struggling, don't do this in silence. I had a really interesting client. Obviously, I offer one-to-one sober coaching as well, if that's of interest. And I had a really interesting client the other day who reminded me so much of myself when I was drinking. And, I had such a strong sense of self-sabotage, if you like. Of course, I didn't realize that at the time. I thought I was just fabulously rebellious, and it was that thing of, well, if I decide I want to change my plan and go back to drinking, well, I sodding well will. And it was almost as if I thought that was somehow clever to kind of sabotage myself. And it's so typical of us. We really, what it is, really what it comes down to is fear, and actually not liking ourselves very much. That's the reality of it. But this client reminded me of myself because she was describing the voice in the head, that voice that, in her case, she said, it wasn't, I know it's not the wine witch, it's me. I know it's me. It's me telling myself I should go and have another drink, even though the other bit of me is saying don't. And I really remember that so strongly. And the key really is in recognizing that when it is just you arguing with yourself, the part of you that thinks drink is the answer will always win until you can step back and recognize, okay, let's actually have a look at this. Let's look at the logic. Let's challenge those thoughts. And one of the best ways to do that is by being held accountable, by feeling supported, by sharing those thoughts with other people, those who've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. They can support that part of you that knows that this isn't a good idea. They can remind you, sweetheart, don't go back to drinking. Look where it got you last time. So having that sense of accountability really makes a difference, and that sense of knowing other people have got your back, and that's, it's one of the reasons the Sober Club is so powerful. And of course, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching, just drop me a message. So if you're doing this hard thing, then lots of love to you. If you've got one more week to go of dry January, then enjoy it. Don't grit your teeth and quit at the end. Just keep playing that tape forward, and notice all the good things that you felt, even if it's been tough for you. Notice the good things, because there will be some for sure, and keep playing that tape forward, and set yourself a new challenge. Maybe dry till July. That trips off the tongue. Decide you're going to stay dry till July, and I'll see you same time next week. Thank you for listening to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by the Sober Club. Please rate and review. And if you want support, accountability and inspiration, and you want to live your best life without the booze, check out thesoberclub.com.